Hey, Buddy Manning here. Welcome to a news edition of the Garden Report. A tidbit coming out of Europe alongside some other notes to start Media Day this week. I'll do the Media Day notes in another video, but I want to start with Oshae Brissett, who's still a free agent. Celtics probably moving on at this point. 21 training camp guys, 2 weeks into camp, Abu Dhabi. Stint underway now in preseason, getting underway tomorrow on Friday. So unless something goes sideways on the injury front, can't imagine Oshae Brissett back with the Celtics this year, though things could change. And as Brissett remains in free agency, have to think he's waiting for some things to change here too. In this report from Defensa Central, which I'd imagine covers Real Madrid basketball in Spain, reporting that Oshae Brissett offered to replace Gershon Yabusele with Real Madrid. So I guess in this report, saying that Brissett and his camp have interest in joining Real Madrid, and given the need at the 4 spot where Yabusele played for Real, it's possible down the line in the coming weeks, as Madrid addresses its options here, he could enter the equation there. Now, the big complication, as this article says, is that you're limited to 2 non-European players, and Madrid has 2 already in Wraith and Mays, another player named Deck. So those spots are full right now with Real Madrid. Now, multiple reports have also linked Brissett to Crvena Zvezda in Serbia. Apparently, they were looking for help too. Thought they might have been able to get Filip Petrusev, according to this report from Basketball Sphere, and the Greek club Olympiakos decided to keep Petrusev. So Brissett could be joining Crvena Zvezda if all else fails, it seems, because there seems to be some mutual interest there, according to this report. But Real Madrid in play, maybe at this point still awaiting injuries or other things to strike around the NBA and open up an opportunity there. And unfortunately, the difficult part in going overseas, despite these being some good clubs in Serbia and Spain, where he'll make some solid money, it's tough to get back into the NBA once you leave. That's something I talked about with Luke Cornett and his dad years ago, that regret over leaving the NBA. Back then, of course, a little different in terms of the atmosphere and roster spots and all of that around the NBA. But for Brissett, coming off the championship, what I thought overall was a pretty solid year, and having a player option, which I thought was a pretty good opportunity to get back with the Celtics for one more year at a minimum, but minimum being about $2.5 million. Tough to see him possibly not have an NBA spot here at this point, but according to all this reporting, that seems to be the case, and training camps already underway around the league. It would take a team that likes him, as well as a roster issue on that team, injuries or whatever else, for opportunity to emerge at this point. But Brissett staying patient, seen him on social media in New York, Arizona, making his way around the U.S., just waiting for that opportunity. So, player, as I've noted in some of my preseason previews, the Celtics could potentially miss a little bit. Allowed them to go smaller. The offensive rebounding out there from him was great last year. The shot wasn't there. And that's the story here, right? If you can't shoot, if you're a role guy at that position, it's tough to find an opportunity around the league, especially as a guy who was pretty, 1 or 2 position oriented defensively as well. So, wishing him the best. And we'll keep you updated if he does officially sign with one of those clubs again, Real Madrid and Crvena Zvezda in Oshae Brissett's orbit right now as he remains in free agency. We are brought to you by Prize Picks. It's almost the weekend. Thursday, you got football tonight and right through the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So no better time for Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings prize pick has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. And if you're like me, and many of you probably are, all your players on your year-long team are out. They're hurt. Your week gets ruined by an injury. This is the best way to do it week in and week out and change your team and get another opportunity the week after. And some cool features here. Pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on prize picks. And you got plenty of great players out there each week. Again, if you get hurt or one of them gets hurt, that's tough. But with prize picks, you get the opportunity again to run it back each week. It's the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states. And it's the only real money daily fantasy platform with injury insurance policy. So beyond all that stuff I just talked about, you'll line up, stay in play, even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, prize picks keeps your lineup alive. It's the best place to get real money sports action. Invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. And right now on Prize Picks, if you download the app today, use the code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, $50 instantly on your first $5 lineup. Just use the code CLNS over at Prize Picks. Again, place a $5 lineup and get $50 instantly. As well as game time, still plenty of great events. Baseball's over, but you got all these football games. Concerts still going on. I just caught one thanks to game time over at the Pavilion. And if you use code CLNS, get $20 off your first purchase over there. Terms apply. Again, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. See where you're sitting with panoramic views, all-in pricing, a great feature. Know what you're paying ahead of time, and all kinds of deals going on over there on the Game Time app. The best place to buy tickets. Go to the Game Time app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. I'm Bobby Manning. Once again, Oshae Brissett. Reportedly in the mix with a couple European teams as training camp continues for the Celtics. We will have post-game coverage of Celtics Nuggets, the first preseason game of the 2024-25 campaign. We'll see who's available for that. Celtics have gotten in a couple of practices over in Abu Dhabi, and they will play the first of those 2 games, and we will have post-game coverage here around 2:30 Eastern tomorrow afternoon. John, myself, Noah, and others potentially in the mix for that one, but I will certainly be there, and I will talk to you then. This has been a news edition of the Garden Report. Hey, Bobby Manning here. If you made it this far, you probably enjoyed this video, so subscribe, turn on notifications, and check out our social media platforms at Celtics CLNS